I know sometimes back the Anti-Corruption Commission, they do system review na ministries then, and then system review they know them they do ensure say they guide auditors and they guide the institutions for ensure say they able for work with in line with the policy. And some of them ministries and agencies and we find out say for the past 2 years well auditor reports they come out they seem for the get a right and we mean say like we madam been to talk about putting the system in place and so that we can able for prevent corruption into certain area and but let me look into that and how them process anything for the help. And with the recommendation we have put together, how we hope government, the institutions involved, cable for work towards that, and they will get it right.
So, as you rightly mentioned, Auntie Betty mentioned about investment in preventive measures. Then, so the government don't need make some headway in terms of the investment in technology, ICT, because one way for able for checkmate then and two ICT wherein whosoever we get interest in can then is able for know waiting they happen. Understand? But I think the challenge we they get na the country. Firstly, with regards na most of the platforms and people always say system they down. When they say system they down, they use paper. Whether the system they did down now and they did down, no, they know. Because you know to magic man them. You understand? So they use paper. In that process, a lot of things happen. But when it comes to institutions, we decide for you systems and processes, even if it is not ICT. Let's just take example like the Ministry of Transport and Aviation as a case study. We're now one of the ministries that you talk about, where they do extremely well. You know, things that the saga be there around the 100 buses some years back. As a result, that we make all the institutions that open the IPA, Ministry of Transport and Aviation. When you look at Ministry of Transport and Aviation, they ensure say because we don't reach date in terms of the investment in ICT for ensure we get a system where all and only in 24 hours for everybody for everybody get access to, then decide for utilize the tools and the instruments that we did now will be provided to them by the state authorities. So what thing they do, like when they talk about procurement, procurement you will follow the process and you still thief. Now one new avenue now way people they go into now. So I didn't be accountants, but now the business now don't go into procurement. So I want one procurement officer because they say that the money day. Now one country this way, people they celebrate and the money day. I don't know how the money day. Now you salary na the money or because as a procurement officer, how much they pay you? You na the money day. It's not about the money day now because loopholes and the day for thief. So when it comes to even with ICT. Now people the input. Exactly. I keep on saying then things here. See, no matter the investment we will put in all of them things here, the integrity of people managing public posts, understand the fiduciary component of the country should be top notch. Because now people they enter. Now just like women are lecturer, at the enter grade. If it's somebody out of mistakes, at times you want to enter 10, you enter 15, or you enter 8. Now mistake, pass on say you go over, they say no, this one I don't make mistake. So people that we corrupt, we get the tendency for cheat the system, understand? They always use now one day for still circumvent waiting they happen. So I think say, in as much as we invest in now one day, now we'll get a situation where the Auditor General be mentioned something to me yesterday, where the cost of this thing, for example, 20,000 for this. This thing will cost 20,000. When you choose for invest into where they cost you 20,000, the actual price will be recorded. The actual cost is 20,000, but you record 100,000. You come, auditor come, and you see supporting documents that show say the cost of this is 100,000, but the actual cost for it is what? 20,000. So you don't see auditor the can't see. If the auditor not choose, if you not get the drive or the instinct not even say no, let's just do a third party audit on this for and waiting at the price for her. You find out say at the end of the day, this particular thing will cost 20,000. The auditor they record as if everything okay. That's now one major problem. So people they always make sure say they double the prices only they charge. But when it comes to all of this, we go to refer to as punitive measures. Me now once you can pain me when they say this thing costs 100,000 units. Me, the economists are no time value for money. This, if I buy this thing 100,000, I take the money, I chop. The way it come back, they can say, I pay 100,000. The time when I be 100,000 for this thing, I don't chop the money. If I don't buy this thing, I need 150,000. We know inflation over 40%. So it means like 150,000 I need now, but I did 100,000. But now we forget about even the time value for money. If it is service delivery, you know, 1 or 2 people in life, they will go down there at least school or even don't die. Because of you selfish desire for just take this money and eat it. So in terms of systems and processes, understand, I keep on saying we should have punitive measures. And we need to move beyond just this. Another thing we need for concentrate on, David, are the issue of we need for the do to refer to as quarterly assessment on all of the MDAs. That is a resources. I cost center now, but I'm telling you, for the do the benefit, they outweigh the cost. We this part I know this will wait for the entire year done. We will improve on internal audit. All of them things here, and I think so they help. But I think say in as much as we do them things here, we the citizens we need to get a platform. Anti-corruption gets a platform where you're able to sense information. If, for example, David they work Ministry of Education, David na procurement officer. The salary you David they get per new loans na 500,000 units, we per old loans na 5 million units. Then you see David they live extraordinary life. This country, all that we know we safe. Of course. We know. Understand? If you they get 500,000 units, they will see you live some kind of big life. I think say when we talk about citizen involvement, that person big life where they live, you don't know say now you begin in education they deprive. Books away for good day, not they good day. School feeding program for go, not they good day. But you still comfortable with it, you call it. Now the country so they call it. We admire people where we know say this one not waiting they earn they live with. Now thief is the thief. But now they enjoy their office so. You need to live good life in office. You don't say this man salary you not do for him. So then things they need for the come up where you for they do the quarterly assessment on different offices. Fiduciary issues and then for concentrate on. Because you get some people outside they nothing they eat. Not just in salary. But those are the people who say this is not serious. You don't work in a government ministry for the past 30 years. No better thing able to do. Other man they say in salary in a 500,000 units, they get 4-5 houses there. Will they celebrate 10 people in there? So I think say the issue of quarterly assessment should be done on people working in fiduciary sections or units in different organizations. That's going for help for able to improve on the issue of accountability. Service delivery, and also I mentioned that yesterday about performance audit. You know, financial audit fine. Financial audits normally the cook can happen, you don't even for notice. Because somebody will give you the receipt to mention this. But when it comes to performance audit, they look at service delivery. I think say we for put more effort on our end. If you get more people, we get more audit on performance. You look at education, for example. You decide I just want to look at the teacher attendance. You do so a audit on that. You didn't know what's in the value for money. They are paying teachers when they even go to the classroom for teach. At the end of the day, you begin the left every day. You as a poor parent, you suffer for get lunch for Giam transport. You go to school all day. It's no learning not take place. But at the end of the day, government is spending huge amount of money to pay these teachers. But if we go, you watch the voucher, then we should say everything okay. The man and pay and salary is signed. Those sort of things they happen because of financial audits. Most of the emphasis in the performance audits. Then are the way for go. As a country like the kind of nature, also the way corruption not be embedded in the lives of so many people within our public service. I think say performance audit will be key. Let we just ensure so we get them performance audit where they happen, not on an annual basis. On a quarterly, we just look at one sector, but this will always refer as whistleblowing. We the citizens get a responsibility for the blow some things into the public. Just for let people aware say then sector are this. So audit service in a good office can say, okay, this particular sector they get so many complaints. Now what would you do? Now we go and go do performance audit in real time. Service delivery, if you book them for Canada, books and all the IGI they do so many surveys. When you go to the field, you see some of the data different from what you see in the public documents there. But we know they do them things here because we just believe in the normal thing. We say people and then are criminals. We say people and the way just feel them for the beat the system. You need for the think above them. And how you able to think above them? And for make sure say you always they do the right things in terms of going there shocks them. Because what thing they do now is status quo.
Yeah.
Even when we talk say for strengthening some of the institutions there, even the internal audit, we will strengthen them, but still we get people within them places and they will give power. And then they say, okay, since I get power, now I connive with them. Then things only happen. So it means we know they just work on the ICT, work on the independence of some of the institutions there. We still need to go beyond that if we really want to get results. Because there is no way government will spend plenty money, donor money. People when they suffer about them, taxpayers' money that they count on our country. Or they count on few people they enrich themselves and the general populace they suffer. You get some areas and now maybe to say even the roads and the neighborhood do. Because money, the money of government they put into recurrent expenditures there, or for the undertake some capital expenditure projects there, but not able because the day-to-day activities are too much. So when government puts some money then into the people of the country for able for realizing benefits here where government is spend money. Nobody cut tax for me, even electricity challenge and government contracting them. People need for the investigate government contracting. We need for monitor and see. Some of the contracts are bad. You get few people and they enrich themselves as against the entire nation. The mining sector way for, if you look at figures statistically, now like nothing absolutely good not happen to Salone for the mining industry. I remember the last time we host somebody where the Minister of Mines now, where be the NM Matthias in one of the economic association forums. When a man did this statistic, you feel bad about the country in terms of what they get as inputs towards the economy. Now, like nothing not good for I talk about. Let me check them contracts in it. That is for another discussion. But just they say we always need formation say the integrity component because. My country this bit to say, I remember the last and the former president, they come with attitudinal and behavioral change. The same body, the same institution they make, then just give them, say, they manage the 60th anniversary. They mess up. The 50th anniversary or 60th, I don't even remember. The 50th, yes. Them say they manage, they mess up. So you really see, people know they can't preach them thing here. What thing they do is really bad. So it makes a lot of sense for the we continue for invest. Now we also get civic education in the younger generations. Then we tell them about love for country. We need to love this country because if you don't get love for country, no matter what you do, you always go find a way for labor force and play with the figures and do something for make you benefit. And at the same time, government gets a responsibility. Now things tend to get worse off every other day. So one of the things can push people and not an excuse for them to be corrupt. It's when waiting they pay you. It's so small for you to take care of your family, even for yourself. So I think the government also gets a responsibility. In as much as we push, the CSOs go push for like we will forget something. But at the end of the day, government self need for upping game in terms of the conditions of service of people who work at the public sector, so that. We don't expect anybody for like your excuse, say because they pay you small means you defraud the nation. But at the end of the day, we want to forget the situation where government for try in difficult situations and look into the conditions of the people who work at the public sector, and that could help in reducing the level of what corruption and level of backwardness we are seeing as a country.